Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're gonna be speaking about the heated press conference that just went down between Raymond Ford and O'Shaquie Foster. We're gonna be speaking about whether Raymond Ford may be too emotional going into this fight with O'Shaquie, and then of course we're gonna get into our predictions in the chat. I'm gonna reserve my predictions, but of course I'm gonna let the chat interact and give us our takes, man. I'm gonna give you guys more of an in-depth analysis, breakdown, prediction after the win. You feel what I'm saying? But show me a lot. This press conference did show me a lot. You know what I mean? From a psychological aspect, of course. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into all of that today, man. Shout out to the nation, shout out to the mob. We definitely in the building for sure. We got a few comments already. Shout out to Zah Like Cheetos. What's going on, brother? He said easy money for Shock. Man, okay. Josue Hernandez, what up? That's the homie right there. He said, yo, what's good, Mazuma? How's your fam and how your day been? The fam cool, you know what I mean? We chilling, we maintaining, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got my son this weekend, so I've been spending time with him today. I mean, he been with me all day, you feel what I'm saying? Stopped by, visited my mom, ate some good food, came back to the crib. He was sitting beside me. He was having his little tablet time, and he just fell asleep way before where he usually falls asleep. So, he must have had a long day, but, shit, and I did too. I'm exhausted, if you can't tell. But, life goes on. You feel what I'm saying? Appreciate you asking. I hope everything is well with you and yours. Kabara Train, what up, brother? What's going on? What's going on? Jay, they said Foster and forehead. We definitely going to talk about that. Yes, sir. Agent 86, what up? Boxing Wiz, what up? What's going on? Trick said, will you be placing a bet on Ford versus Shock or are odds too close? I haven't even checked the odds, to be honest with you. I'm not really a big gambler. I'll gamble here and there. But nah, it's not like a consistent thing for me. But I'll take a look at the odds on Saturday. You know what I mean? And I feel like if I feel like there's some money to be made, then I'll definitely, look at that. But yeah, I'm not really a big gambler, so I don't really know too much about odds and stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see. Bosway said Shock a minus 175 favorite right now. Okay. So it's not that big of a favorite. They might have him a little bit over Ray. Okay, so Ray is a plus 120, 125. Yeah, the odds are definitely close. It's gonna be hard to make money unless you put up a crazy amount. Yeah, most likely I won't be betting on that. I'll just enjoy it as a fan. You feel what I'm saying? Not really much to it. I'm gonna just fall back. I mean, Xander and Boost, I might put some money on that. But this one right here, I'm gonna just fall back. You feel what I'm saying? Because literally anything could happen in this fight. You know what I'm saying? I spoke about it the day before yesterday. Because I was already telling y'all, just based off of that press conference, that Raymond Ford was just a little bit too emotional for my comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a bit out of character for him. Because I've watched Raymond Ford come up since his pro debut. Heard about him when he was an amateur. You know what I mean? Doing his thing in the Amies. I was actually in the building for his pro debut. I believe his pro debut was at the Leocourt Center. He fought Woozy Johnson, I believe. I was pretty familiar with Woozy because he was a local fighter from Delaware. And each time that I've ever seen Ray Ford, I've always seen him like reserved, laid back, relaxed, like he'll talk his shit and he'll even go back and forth with you, but it's always with like a calm demeanor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm seeing Ray in the lead up to this fight. I've already seen him, I already seen O'Shaquie pulling away at his emotional strings early on when the fight had first gotten announced, because he kept bringing up Shakur, and you could tell that definitely rubbed, Ray the wrong way. I think Ray feels insulted at the idea that Shock doesn't think too much of him. I don't know if Ray is just accustomed to people being respectful to him or, putting some type of respect on his name or just not being in there with somebody who is as confident as O'Shaquie. But, Raymond Ford definitely has an issue with him. I think what has started it all was the whole Shakur Stevens, calling Shakur Stevenson his dad and shit like that. You could tell that really pissed Ray off. Then what also pissed Ray off was when they were giving each other ratings. Ray had given him a high rating and Shaq had given him a low one. So you could tell he was a little bit salty about that as well. And I think all of that, I think a combination of both of those things, along with Shaq, not thinking much of Ray or just feeling like Ray's a stepping stone, that really put a huge chip on Raymond Ford's shoulder. Now, what we're going to really be getting into is to whether, is this emotional side of Raymond Ford going to help him or is it going to hurt him? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and I told you guys the last time I went live, there's some people that when they get emotional could be your worst nightmare. And then there's fighters when they get emotional could become a layup or an easy fight to win. Like I said, Oscar De La Hoya is the example that I always go towards. When he's angry or when you get him emotional, that's one of the worst things that you could do. He's going to train as hard as he can. You putting a battery in his back to go ahead and get in the best shape possible, and he's going to give you hell in the ring. You know what I mean? He gave Floyd a tough run for his money. You know what I mean? He beat the shit out of Ricardo Mayorga for talking crazy. He beat the shit out of Fernando Vargas for talking crazy. Like, De La Hoya is not that person that you really want to wind up, because once he get there, you know what I mean, now you just unlocked a whole different monster. Then, the person that I look to that I think doesn't work well when he's emotional is Teofimo Lopez. I feel like whenever he had got, that situation with George Kambosos, I think that really got in his head. I think the psychological warfare Teofimo Lopez became victim to, and he abandoned his old game plan. He wasn't in there. He wasn't thinking clearly. He was just in there, just winging big shots, trying to knock out Kambosos. And Kambosos was relaxed. He was patient. He was following through with his game plan. And till this day, I feel like that's why Teofimo Lopez lost. Really wasn't because Kambosos was just like this special guy or anything like that. You literally fought with your emotions instead of your brain. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm seeing Raymond Ford act up in these, press conferences, in his training, and it seems like everybody around Raymond Ford is enabling him to take this emotional approach as well. Raymond Ford's coach, he's talking out of pocket, in my opinion. I don't really feel like it's coach's job to be talking for the fighter or talking as if they are the fighter. That just makes me feel like, he trying to share the spotlight with Ray. And I'm going to just say this, and this is me being a coach as well. You will never be as important as the fighter. You can talk as much as you want. You can have all the accolades in the world. If you got a world champion and you are the coach, it's not about you, brother. You see what I'm saying? So this is a unique situation for Raymond Ford in terms of, his emotional approach going into this fight. So this could either be a really good thing for Ray, because that might turn him up to a whole new level, or it could be a bad thing because now, you lost your cool, you lost your composure. And now you just going to be, fighting with your emotions, and Shock just going to be, taking advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? He said Ray Ford coach the sloth looking dude. Yeah, that's exactly what he looked like. Big ass teeth and all, look fucking weird. But anyways, them niggas corny to me. Not Ray. I fuck with Ray. But like, his people around him, they weird to me. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I just don't like when coaches be talking out of turn. I don't like when they be sitting there acting like they part of the build-up, they part of the lead-up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's Bill Haney, I understand because he's actually the promoter as well. You feel what I'm saying? He's the head of DHP, so he doing what he needs to do. He on his Don King shit. But when it's like motherfuckers like, remember Regis Prograde, strength and conditioning coach, talking shit the whole time that Devin Haney was about to fight Regis? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You ain't nobody. Like, you not anybody significant to this situation. Let these motherfuckers talk. You know what I'm saying? And then what was the other one? I remember when Cody Crawley was gonna fight Jerron Ennis, his coach talking all crazy, being disrespectful to Bo and all that. Like, bro, like that's not even necessary. Like, these niggas get a microphone and Like you could tell, like they've been waiting for this moment so long that they just willing to say anything to get a little bit of attention. Like super corny. Jay, you said it seems like he was scheduled to talk. He had a mic. I mean, yeah, but all coaches be having mics. Do you see them talk out of turn like that? Do you see them acting out of pocket? Shock trainer had a microphone. Did he try to take over the press conference or try to engage in trash talk with the fighter? No, you ain't see that. You feel what I'm saying? And typically when there is a press conference, you usually have, the promoter, two fighters, and you might have they trainers there for them if they're the main event. You know what I'm saying? And trainers just need to be trainers, bro. It's not for you to sell the fight. Your job as a coach is to strategize, cook up a good game plan and make sure your fighter is in the best position possible in terms of, uh psychologically, physically, spiritually. You want to make sure they're in the best possible position to fight. You feel what I'm saying? That's your job. You feel me? Anything outside of that is extra and you doing too much. It's almost like you attention seeking. But anyways, man, I want to get into this press conference right here. Let me go ahead and pull that shit up. It really wasn't much too said, but you could definitely feel the tension in the room. That shit was serious. That shit was definitely serious. So let's get into that. Shout out to Fight Force for this press conference. For recording this press conference. Shout out to Matchroom and Top Rank for putting this fight together. This is a fight I'm really excited to see. You know what I'm saying? And I think y'all are too, man. So just looking at, these guys right here, I think this is like the theme of the press conference right here, and the theme to the lead up of the fight. You see O'Shaquie, positive, smiling. You see, Raymond Ford look like he, got a chip on his shoulder, just seem a little bit angry. And you can see the effects of the weight cut on Raymond Ford, to be honest with you, like in his face area, his cheekbones. You can tell he's starting to feel that. Seen him chewing gum as well. I don't know if any of y'all had cut weight before. I don't know if y'all had a couple pounds to lose and a couple days left until the fight, and you chewing that gum to suppress that hunger. If you know that shit is no joke. But I see Raymond Ford chewing the gum. He seemed a bit irritated. Look like he, not saying that he's struggling to make weight, but you could definitely see the effects, in my opinion, of him attempting to make weight. So let's hear what they got to say.
Guys, and I am so pleased to be sitting here between these two great fighters, because this is a fight that I, as a fight fan, have been looking forward to since it was made. The DAZN schedule is red hot, just back from a wild night in Egypt last Saturday. So much to come, of course, this on Saturday night as we head through another Matchroom v Top Rank matchup with Boots against Zayas in June. Bam also going for a 3-division championship. There is so much coming live and exclusive on DAZN. AJ's return in July, but this is one of the fights that I was looking forward to the most. The first time Matchroom has been in Houston. This arena going to be packed out on Saturday night. This is going to do huge numbers and viewership around the world live on DAZN. Well done to both for a great build-up. And this is a great, great matchup. I want to say as well, in here today, this isn't open to the public, but it is open to the teams. There's a nice bit of energy, good energy from the undercard. It's a great undercard as well, but great energy on this main event. So I'm going to introduce these two fighters because their respective teams as well are here. To my left, a guy who came into our office in New York as an 18-year-old, I believe, from Camden, New Jersey. He was a shy guy, but he was a guy with unbelievable talent, represented his country, and all of a sudden we take him through the levels and he produced.
This is a lot of filter at this point, but you can tell Ray don't really want to be there. Shock looking over at Ray, I guess studying a little bit. Eddie Hearn doing his, his protocol and shit like that. Shout out to my boy Jay Cash in the building. I appreciate that. Marissa, what's going on, Marissa? Now seeing two boss. What up? So let me go ahead and try to fast forward, man. It's a lot of back and forth.
Mendez was up in the fight. O'Shaquie Foster came to ESPN. Gentlemen, red hot. Before I speak to the trainers of the fighters and the fighters, I want to speak to a man and a
Thanks to everybody. Stole it there. You know, it's the big goal watching it happen. Took that title and
Saturday in Savage Town and training.
Raise a focus for a big challenge and a big test on Saturday night.
For sure, this is the longest training camp I done had in my career. You know, we done put the blood, sweat, and tears in, and it ain't too much more to say. You know, we just ready to go come Saturday in Savage Town and the new.
You've seen the great build-up we've seen throughout, even yesterday with a head-to-head. You're comfortable with Ray's going to be calm enough. We see it. We know how calm he is, but this is a big moment, big test coming in here on Saturday night. You like the calmness that you see in your man.
Most definitely. This the calm before the storm. The storm going to come Saturday and ain't nothing he can do about it.
And finally, I know there was a bit of back and forth last time. These guys questioned your experience and your credentials. You are a young trainer, a great trainer as well. Big night for you as well. Looking forward to getting one up on these guys on Saturday.
Sure, you know, they just 5 minutes away, and after this one, they gonna have no choice but to respect me.
Okay, Bobby, welcome. You've been there a long time with O'Shaquie. You were, of course, in Mexico as well. All these other world championship fights as well. Brilliant to be in Houston. I mean,
so look, fought in my days and but
obviously
that ain't got nothing to do with anything in this building.
Obviously
that ain't got nothing to do with anything, but
your man
Ray will find out right level.
Your time, Ray, coming up Saturday night. As I said to you over there, this is a big moment for you. You know, I know that you're ice cold, you're full of confidence, but this is a time to become a two-weight world champion on a big platform, big stage. Ice cold?
I'm just ready, man. I ain't really got too much to say. I'm ready.
All the build-up, of course, has been great. At this point, it's just about finishing this final head-to-head. Go and do what you got to do. Get on that championship weight tomorrow. But in your mind, do you make it look easy on Saturday night?
For sure. Shut your bitch ass up.
Hold up, bro. I gotta hear that again.
Easy on Saturday night?
For sure. Shut your bitch ass up.
Like, so emotional. All that calm before the storm shit. Nah, nigga. Niggas is upset for sure.
Emotional. Hey, y'all can't fight for him, dude.
They can't fight for you, nigga. And they can't fight for you. Hey, Big Sis, you been talking for too long. I can't wait to shut y'all the fuck up. Y'all talk too much.
That nigga mad. Yo, that nigga pissed off. He went and addressed them. Yo, if you addressing women in the crowd, oh, man. Yeah, he's upset.
Hey, Big Sis, you been talking for too long. I can't wait to shut y'all the fuck up. Y'all talk too much.
Here's how we come. That's how we do. Yo, did you peep that? Yo, this nigga Raymond Ford said, bro, I swear to God. Yo, he bought that nigga bought his fist up and said, bro, I swear to God, bro, this nigga is right. Yo, that nigga is frustrated. Oh my God, bro. You can tell he genuinely upset. Look how the way Shock looking at him. It was like, Shock, no, he got him. He got him exactly where he wanted from an emotional standpoint, bro. We'll see. Maybe this will all backfire. The night of the fight, maybe Ray just be on a whole different mode. We don't know. But yo, how the way it's looking right now, Shock is like super relaxed. He seems to be, unfazed, unbothered by everything. It just Shock just comes across as like very confident. That could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing because a little bit too much confidence could be, underestimating somebody. But Shock just looks ready to go, relax, in a good place, mentally. And this motherfucker Ray looks irate, pissed off, um, cursing out the whole room. Like you could just tell, like he don't want to be there. You see what I'm saying? Like he don't, and some fighters feel that way. You know what I mean? And Ray probably, cutting the last few pounds, so he's not like in the best state of mind right now. You know what I'm saying? This nigga said Ray looking rabid. That's crazy. You saying this nigga he look like he got rabies? Insane. You know what I'm saying? Nostalgic said Bud was on the same shit at the Spence press conference. Yeah, he definitely was. He was pissed off. He definitely was. And and Bud then looked, he looked like he was feeling the effects of the weight cut too. But the thing about Bud is he's one of those individuals that when he's upset, you putting him in a different mode. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen Hank Lundy fucking with Terrence Crawford, Derry John. I seen him fucking with Terrence Crawford. That shit ain't work out well. I seen Jose Benavidez talking shit to Bud. That shit ain't go too well. So it's like you gotta Bud not the nigga to get angry. Bud not somebody to talk shit to. Even Canelo was talking shit to Bud, and Bud was like, all right, when I stomp a mud hole in your ass, is you gonna be a nobody? You know what I'm saying? So certain motherfuckers, bro, the reason why this is a bit different with Ray is because we haven't seen him here before. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen Ray this upset. We haven't seen him this angry. We haven't seen he look like he ready to go through it right now. So it's either he's overly emotional or Shock just woke up a totally different monster in him. We gonna see. But just seeing how the way both of these guys are acting on stage, the body language between the two, it seems like O'Shaquie's winning the mental warfare right now. That's just what it seems like to me.
You come in here, I won't keep you too long, but you come in here with bad intentions, the build up.
Yeah.
Do you wanna take this guy out on Saturday night? O'Shaquie, you got your team over there, you got Ray's team over there. How you feeling ahead of this moment? It's a big moment for you. Great to be in Houston. Great crowd, you're smiling away. Full of confidence?
Man, I feel great, man. I give all glory to God, man, for this opportunity, put me in this position, and all I got to do is capitalize now. All these dudes over there talking, we ain't hearing that. Man, we don't care. We done been through the fire. I come from this kind of, crazy, whatever, you know what I mean? So we ain't trying to hit them. I'm ready, man. I'm prepared. I'm happy. And y'all, as y'all know, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. You feel me? So he gonna find out Saturday.
So just notice like the juxtaposition between both of these guys. They're approaching this from totally opposite viewpoints, different mentalities. You got Raymond Ford over here talking about, man, shut the fuck up, man, shut your bitch ass up, blah blah. This is him talking to the crowd. I can't wait to shut y'all the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, balling his fists up and just being so angry. Then you got O'Shaquie over here who's also being trash talked by Raymond Ford's people. And he like, man, I'm not worried about what they talking about. Like, basically, it's too late. We gonna fight. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, he not worried about what they talking about. He been there. He done that. Ain't nothing y'all gonna say to throw me off my square. So, you know what I mean? This is two totally different mentalities right now. One is bothered, like visibly bothered, upset, and then you got somebody in O'Shaquie Foster who calm, relaxed, positive, unfazed by the negative commentary. So there's just something to really look at right here.
You said there that Ray's emotionally invested in this fight. You feel that? You think that it's about mindset as well on Saturday night and keeping your cool in the fire in Houston?
Man, they know what they call me, ice water. I stay cool, I stay calm, and I flow like water. He gonna find out Saturday. All that talking, all that rah-rah shit is gonna be shut down real quick. And you see, they so nervous. They can't be crying for a second. They so nervous, but hey, Saturday they all gonna be crying. They all gonna be hurt. You know what I mean? It's gonna be on to the next.
Well, the final one from both you guys, the predictions. I know it always says by any means necessary, however it comes. But how does O'Shaquie Foster beat Ray Ford on Saturday night to become still WBC world champion?
I'm gonna dominate from round one to whenever the fight ends. If he get too reckless, like I told him, it's gonna be a bad night for him, and y'all gonna be hurt. Y'all can do all that screaming, bro. It's okay, man. Like, I see why he's so emotional, because y'all emotional. Calm down, y'all. Hey, man. Y'all supposed to be helping him, bro. Stay calm, bro. Like, stay calm, stay cool. It's all right. We got 2 days. Man. But, hey, I'm happy. I'm ready, bro. I'm excited for this opportunity, bro. This one of the biggest build-ups that I've had in my career. And they don't understand, man, like, I come from this, man. So all that rah-rah shit, all that shit, all it do is just, make me raise my game. And I'm just y'all gonna see the best out of me Saturday. That's all I can say.
Right, last word from you. How do you do it? What happens on Saturday night? Tell the world.
Just tune in, man. Savage time.
Let's face them.
Savage time. Don't even sound like you believe that shit, nigga.
Guys up here last time.
Now these 2 guys.
All right. So that was the back and forth. Now, what I also want to play for y'all is the mic'd up version of O'Shaquie Foster versus Raymond Ford's face-off. Raymond Ford, I guess you could say, got his lick back against O'Shaquie, because when they did that, face-off a couple days ago, or at least yesterday, I believe that was, Shock had pushed Raymond. And Raymond didn't really take too kindly to that. He got, very emotional as well. Looked like he wanted to fight him outside, try to fuck that money up, whatever the case is, which is also another reason why I feel like, Raymond is a bit out of character as well. And, he pushed O'Shaquie back this time. So let me go ahead and play that for y'all. And this is the mic'd up version of them going back and forth. And I ain't gonna lie, man, the way Ray's talking, this is something that he's definitely taking personal. So let's hear it. Hold on. My fault, y'all. Then he pushed the shit out of him, though. I ain't gonna lie.
That's you breaking up. Why you didn't do that out there? Why you didn't do that without the security not around it? Why you do that? Yeah, you feel good? You feel great? I hope that make you feel good, my G. I hope that make you feel great. Not one time, hey, you said all that bitch word you said on the internet, not one time have you said it to my face. And I would have showed you. Oh, it's too late now. We got to fight though. But you should have said that when nobody was between us. You should have said that I would smack the shit out you. My grandma would have said in front of you, I would smack the shit out you.
You would have smacked who? You would have smacked who? Man, Raymond Ford ready to jump out his motherfucking skin to get that shot. He seemed like he don't even care about the money at this point, and that's what's a bit troubling. If you are so invested emotionally that you're not even thinking about fucking your money up, then that man already done got you emotionally, man. That motherfucker already done won the battle, from a, emotional standpoint in terms of like psychological warfare. But yeah, Shock said, nigga, you would have called me a bitch to my face when no security was around. I would have slapped the shit out of you. He's like, well, smack who? So look how the way Ray acting.
I would have smacked the shit out you. I would have smacked the shit out you. I would smack the shit out you. Man, look. Hey, don't fuck up your money. Hey, you waited till the security guards got here to act tough. Man, shut up. Stop talking to me, nigga. Stop talking to me, nigga. I'm talking to your fighter. They know what time it is, brother.
Shock laughed immediately. Like, I don't think there's anything that Ray could do at this point to try to get Shock to his level emotionally. Shock don't really seem to be fazed by anything, the words, the physicality, nothing. I think he just understands that, like, your time coming up. We got 2 days, and all that shit that you trying to do to get in my head, bro, It's too late. That's what it looked. That's what it sounded like to me. So that's the face off that they had, man. This shit is definitely personal. They do not like each other. Ray also said in the interview that, you know what I'm saying, like he not touching gloves, he not shaking hands after the fight. Fuck him. Like he don't care nothing about Shock. Like this ain't just like and he been saying that it ain't personal, but the way that he approaching it, every detail that he's giving you just lets you know that it's personal. And it is what it is. Sometimes it get like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo, that shit got personal. Uh, J Rock and Jamal Charlo, that shit got personal. It's a few instances like, you know, Anthony Durrell versus Caleb Plant, that shit got personal. You know, it's a few. You know, it was a few situations. I know for sure. And although they never fought, you know, Gerald Miller versus Anthony Joshua got personal. So, you know, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumble, bro. It is what it is. We not always gonna have like this sportsmanship type ending to every single fight. But I'm excited to see the fight nonetheless, man. Did a little bit of studying on Raymond Ford, just watching some of his best performances, watching, you know, performances he didn't do so well in as well, just to see exactly what his tendencies are, you know, what he's good at, you know, what he's bad at, little defensive flaws he may have. Then I'm gonna go ahead and watch. I'm gonna watch Shock once I get off of here because I'm not gonna be on here too long. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna study up on, you know, Shock's, you know, his strengths, you know, which is his range and, you know, his jab and stuff like that. Good, you know, good power on the right hand as well. I'm gonna study his strengths, study his weaknesses as well, check out some defensive flaws, whatever the case is, and you know, I'm gonna try my best to visualize the fight just based off of everything that I've been able to gather from a studying aspect, and I'm gonna give you guys the best opinion possible. But one thing that I always play that I'm really big on is the weigh-ins. You know what I'm saying? Good left hook said every Caleb Plant build up gets personal. Yeah, but you know, Caleb Plant always seems to show respect at the end. You know, I just think that it just be competition for Caleb. You know, like with David Benavidez, that shit was personal. Definitely was personal, but then after the fight, you know, Caleb Plant and David been cool ever since then. You know, Caleb Plant and Canelo, that shit was personal, you know, but after, you know, Canelo stopped him, whatever the case is, they got cool as well. There was respect between each other. Canelo even said, yo, like, you know, you family, you feel me? Now, did he mean that? I don't really know. But you know, it seemed like there was a good ending there. Between Anthony Durrell and Caleb Plant, it just didn't end well. You know what I'm saying? And I think to this day they still not really too fond of each other. So that's just how that shit goes sometimes, man. That's how it goes sometimes. Sway said, got a feeling Ray gonna get too aggressive and get caught. I mean, Ray definitely gonna come out guns blazing, bro. I think that's very evident at this point. Like, I don't see Ray talking all this shit and getting this emotional just to box, you know, to hit and not get hit. Like Ray definitely gonna come out, you know, guns blazing, and it's up to Shock whether he gonna make him pay for that or not. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when somebody's, you know, emotionally invested in that, they're gonna be throwing bombs. So Shock got to make sure he on his P's and Q's. You know what I mean, and not getting hit with them big shots, especially early, because you know what I mean. The last thing you want to do in a championship level fight is to get caught cold, bro. Getting caught cold is one of the worst things that could happen to you in a ring. And what that means, by the way, is like before your body warm up, before you start getting in the groove of things, you get hit with a good shot and you're unable to recover because your body hasn't even acclimated to the fight yet. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's, you know, Shot got to be on his P's and Q's because Raymond is going to be looking to prove a point off rip. And I'm listening to Ray. And one thing I heard Ray say was, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Shock better be on the back foot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better be on the back foot. Like, you better not step to me. You step to me, it's gonna be an early night. So in Raymond Forehead, he feels like Shock can't take his punching power. And he feels like Shock can't be the aggressor against him because he feels like if he does, he's susceptible to being knocked out. So I don't know exactly what Raymond Ford is thinking. I don't know if he just thinks that he has the power necessary to get Shaq up out of there, or he doesn't think much of Shaq's durability. But regardless, man, you let these dudes talk, and you get a good feeling for where their game plan is or what their mentality is like. So it just seems like Ray wants to hurt him. He wants to stop him. It seems like he's gonna press him. And he feels like Shaq can't do anything if he were to take that approach. Shaq, on the other hand, when he's talking, he's saying that he gonna win by any means necessary. He said that if Raymond Ford get out of pocket, he can't get stopped. But what he also said was, like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna dominate. He gonna dominate from the first bell all the way to when the last bell is. So it sounds like, from a mental aspect, O'Shaquie Foster is preparing for each and every scenario, which is a good thing to do. And I'm sure Raymond Ford, trained to go 12 rounds as well, because you never truly know. You cannot knock everybody out at the end of the day. But it just sounds like Raymond Ford is kill, kill, kill. And O'Shaquie is on some dominate, get the job done by any means, whether it's by knockout, decision, whatever. You outclass him. So we're gonna have a hell of a fight on our hands, man. Because one thing about both of these guys, they have some similarities. They both dogs. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen both of these motherfuckers be down in fights, ironically, and come back to win the fight by knockout to win a world title or retain, or to get a victory, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So, both of these guys got dog. Both of these guys, for the most part, have good engines, but also both of these guys have shown to be inconsistent in fights. I've seen both of these guys where, when they fought, and really have been clicking, they look like one of the best fighters in the world. But there's other times that when they come into fights, they seem to be, a step off. You know what I'm saying? Being in close competitive fights. A lot of people thought O'Shaquie lost that second fight against, Robson Conceição. You know what I'm saying? There was fights early on in Raymond Ford's career where they thought he lost and got a draw or whatever the case is. He lost to Nick Ball in an underwhelming performance. Some people felt like Raymond Ford still won, but regardless, you know what I mean? Like, Raymond Ford, I thought Raymond Ford's last performance wasn't, much impressive neither. So I think these guys, this is like, I don't know if they just need certain opponents for them to rise to the occasion. But if that is the situation for both of these guys, then there's no excuse for neither one of them to have a bad performance. You know what I mean? There's no reason. Like, if y'all just need good competition for y'all to raise y'all game and really be in y'all bag, because y'all both rose to the occasion in big fights, for the most part, y'all should have all the motivation y'all need. Y'all have plenty of time to prepare for the fight. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully both of these guys make weight. Hopefully the title is on the line for both guys and they can go ahead and have it. You know what I'm saying? But, there's no excuses, man. There's no excuses. Shaq said that he went into this camp, with no injuries. So I don't want to hear anything about, I had an injury. You made it clear that injuries weren't a problem in camp, so we don't want to hear the excuses. Right? You said that, you had a phenomenal camp. You know what I mean? You being assisted by Shakur Stevenson. Zaquin Moses, Richardson Hitchens came in for sparring and all that. So I'm assuming that you're sharp. You're very well prepared. So, if either one of these guys come up short against whoever comes up short against the other guy, they just have to admit that the other guy is better. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you what, man. Whoever loses this fight, I ain't gonna lie, they stock gonna take a little bit of a dive, man. Their stock definitely gonna take a little dive, because I'm gonna tell you why. With O'Shaquie, right? He's giving off this energy like Raymond Ford doesn't belong in there with him. That this is somebody, another opponent, just somebody else that he gonna dominate. Somebody that he doesn't look at and be like, yo, this is like a top fighter. He feels like Raymond Ford is unproven. So if he were to go ahead and get whooped by Raymond Ford, it's like, all right, you was talking about, X, Y, and Z about Ray, how, he ain't beat nobody. You know what I mean? You don't think much of his skills and shit like that. So if you were to go ahead and lose to him, then, you know what I mean? That shit gonna be like, that's gonna be pretty embarrassing. On the other hand, Raymond Ford, if you out here talking, All this gangster shit. Saying that you gonna knock him the fuck out, that you basically you gonna whoop his ass, and you go ahead and you saying all this shit. You know what I mean? You pushing the nigga, you telling him that you gonna beat him up, and you trying to fight the nigga outside the ring. You said a whole bunch of crazy shit about Shaq in the lead up to this fight. You go ahead and you lose to Shaq, especially motherfuckers already calling you Shakur little brother and shit like that. Even his son. If you were to go ahead and lose, that's gonna put you deeper into that, little bro or son rule. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a lot of it's some pressure on both guys. I ain't gonna lie. My boy Dwyer in the building said, I think Ford can make Foster uncomfortable, but I think Foster will come out victorious. That's what I'm leaning towards, to be honest with you. I think O'Shaquie Foster is going to come out with the victory. And, I see some people saying, and what's so funny, like these dudes constantly contradict themselves, right? Because they be like, oh, you're only as good as your last fight. You're only as good as your last fight, right? And then, at the same time, I'm seeing the same pages saying shit like, man, y'all just think that O'Shaquie gonna walk over Ford because he beat Stephen Fulton in his last fight? Nigga, I thought it was you only as good as your last performance. So if he had a phenomenal performance against Stephen Fulton, what's the problem with us picking him to beat Raymond Ford? I don't understand. But whatever. I'm leaning towards O'Shaquie Foster, man. I really am. I feel like O'Shaquie Foster is gonna keep a good jab on, Raymond Ford. I think he's gonna keep that range real well. And I gotta look at the reach, the wingspan difference between, Ray. Hold on, let me check this out real quick. Let me see. So Raymond Ford has a 5'9" reach. He has a 5'9" reach, which is not bad for a 5'7" fighter. But you got O'Shaquie Foster, who is similar, who's 5'8.5". Didn't look like it, to be honest. It looked like they was the same fucking height. So somebody lying, either Ray taller or Shaq shorter. Whatever. As a matter of fact, I'm almost willing to bet Shaq ain't no 5'8.5", because I'm 5'9", and if you the same height in these face-offs as Ray, nah. But anyways, it looked like the motherfucker got a 6-foot reach. So that's a significant advantage. 3 inches, but yeah, that makes me feel like Ray's gonna have to close that gap in order to be effective offensively against Shaq. And if that's the case, Shaq got to do whatever he can to keep him outside, run him into counters, turn him, hold him if need be. You know what I'm saying? Keep that jab on him, feints, all that. You should be able to disrupt, Raymond Ford the majority of the time. Shaq got to be like 5'7". Yeah, shit, yeah. Jones said, have you ever heard of Jalil Hackett? Of course. Yeah. Of course I heard of Jalil Hackett. Yeah, I know who that is, Jones. Why do you ask? Do you know him? Nate just says, I speak for everybody when I say Zaquin Moses isn't special. Damn. He said, like the boxing vibes here. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jones. Thank you, man. Hopefully you stick around, man. We do this on the regular. Agent 86 said, good fight early, but Shaq gonna figure Ray out at the end. Okay. Dust 215 said, Mazuma, did you see Cool Boy's latest interview? He said he was drained, had no legs that fight. I mean, I think that was pretty evident to see just based off of his performance. That was not the best version of Stephen Fulton. Did look like he was having some issues with his weight, and I did see the interview, and I did hear what he had to say about it. But all that did was just make me even more disappointed, to be honest with you. Like, I already knew that Fulton, in my opinion, wasn't moving discipline outside of the ring, because why are you a 5'5", 5'6" man? You know what I'm saying? And you're not big at all. It's not like Canelo, like 5'7", but he got a big ass head, some big torso. Stephen Fulton is a little nigga. Like from from the forehead to the fucking ankles. This is a small motherfucker, bro. Small legs, small arms. Nothing about you just makes anyone feel like you have to be heavy to walk around comfortably or walk around healthy. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely inexcusable, in my opinion, when you're blowing up to absurd amounts of weight when you know you ain't got no business being there. You know what I'm saying? But I was listening to the interview for the most part, and I was hearing Fulton talk about how he just tired from the sport of boxing. I'm gonna tell you something, for Scooter. Like, if that's the case, then you should just walk away from the sport, because all that is you saying that you tired. You just tired of boxing overall. You ain't do interviews for 2 years and all of that shit. You sound like you spent, brother. It sound like you burnt out. And you're not in any position right now to just be taking long breaks from the sport and then come back when you feeling revitalized. That's not how this shit go. Like, if you truly sick of everything in boxing, or you've been doing it since you was 12 years old and now you 30 something, or whatever the case is, I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. I didn't fight at a professional level. I was nowhere near as experienced as you. I did not accomplish what you accomplished, but nonetheless, I'll be feeling some burnout as well. So I get it. But when it gets to the point where you're just fighting to collect a check and you're not even preparing properly, when you literally have your life on the line while you're in there, especially with a motherfucking shock who did not like you, why are you even playing around with your life like that? Why even play with your life like that? I don't understand that, bro. If you're not in the game mentally, if you're not dedicating yourself to the sport, it's gonna expose you every single time. I don't give a fuck how gifted you are, how good you are, what you were able to get past, get through in the past, and defeat fighters from cutting corners and all that. That shit is gonna find a way to catch up to you, man. And Fulton was talking about how, you know what I'm saying, he passed out on the floor. What else he said? He said that he ran for an hour, a half hour, and only lost like a pound. Then he sat in a sauna and he only lost a half a pound and all of this shit. So, man, listen, Fulton, what you did is inexcusable. You could talk. And you know what I really don't like, man, is that these motherfuckers make excuses before they hold themselves accountable. You feel what I'm saying? That's what really be throwing me off. Because, like I said, we were supposed to help Stephen Fulton get ready for O'Shaquie Foster. I got a perfect fighter that'll help him get ready for O'Shaquie. But you showing up 2-3 hours late for the gym, to the point where we was sitting around like, yo, what we gonna do? We had to spar totally different people because you refuse to be professional with your time. And then when I'm seeing that big ass gut on that scale, you was talking about, oh, you know what I mean? Like, my gut wasn't like that. You know what I mean? My gut only looked like that because I rehydrated. I ain't have nothing. And, Lamont Roach, security guard, had to pick me up out the tub and lay me on the bed. And it's like, bro, that's what you get, bro. Like, and I hate to be that type of person, but I ain't gonna lie. That's what you get for cutting corners. That's exactly what you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be out here, not giving the game your all and then get upset when you receive half-ass results or no results at all. Boxing requires you to give it everything. You gotta give it everything, man. You give it any less than that, it's not enough. You give it 98%, it's not enough. You give it 99%, it's not enough. 99.9% is not enough. You need to give this shit everything if you want to get to the next level. Straight like that. And the quicker you understand that in the sport, the better off you'll be. That's why motherfuckers like Andre Ward say he didn't have a childhood. Floyd Mayweather said he didn't have a childhood. Everything went into boxing. Floyd basically traded in his education for improving in the sport. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. Fulton could have kept that shit to himself. that shit like turned into like a therapy session and shit. And look, if that's how the way you want to set up your interviews, and that's your prerogative. I can't tell you what to do with your platform. But it's like you're basically giving these guys a platform to to justify why they had the bum ass performance that they had. We respectfully, we don't care, because at the end of the day, you can say a million and one things about what happened and why that affected your performance, bro. What we care about is the end result. What happened? You got dominated. You got beat up, and now everybody, instead of and who knows? Maybe if you dedicated yourself how you did when you was fighting Angelo Leo and what was that dude name? Something Roman. I mean, when you was fighting around that time, and even that second motherfucking Brandon Figueroa fight like that was a good version of Steel Fulton right there too. Became a 2-division champion off that. But it's like, I should have known. We should have seen like the little signs where he was like, yeah, man, I'm going up 30. I'm going to challenge O'Shaquie Foster. And then after I beat O'Shaquie Foster, I'm going to go to 135. And do what? It's like these dudes get to a certain point in their life where they feel like, you know what I mean, cutting weight isn't a necessity no more. They want to fight. They want to get a couple dollars, but they don't want to cut the weight. That's why these dudes continuously get exposed. Fulton had no business being at 130. You're too small. You're too fucking small. You probably ate yourself out of 126 because of your bad habits. So now you ain't got no choice but to be at 130. But guess what? There's a lot of bigger motherfuckers than you at 130. There's motherfuckers at 126 that is a lot bigger than you, and you at 130. So, man, it is what it is. Trix says Fulton versus Oscar Valdez. I don't mind that fight. That's 2 former world champions right there. You know what I mean? Valdez comes from the smaller weight classes as well. Why not? But, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it real. If Fulton ain't focused, I don't really want to see him for real. You know what I mean? We got to understand, a lot of these dudes, they simply, it's one of two things. Either they distracted by some real life shit that's going on out here, or they was only ever motivated by the money. You know what I mean? So it's like once, because there's people who don't really give a fuck about the money and it's just all in with their legacy. Like Xander Zayas just said in that face off of Boots. And then you got other motherfuckers where it's like, yo, bro, like I'm poor. That's the only way I'm going to get up out of my situation and take care of my kids and my family. You know what I mean? So once they get to that point, it's like, all right, like, what's next? Like, I don't really see the point in really giving this shit my all when I've accomplished it already. If you play a game on story mode and you complete 100% of the story mode, eventually you're going to get bored with that game and fuck with something else. Unless it's like GTA or some shit. There's always something to do. But you get what I'm saying. Like them story mode based games, once you get past them, there's really no point in even playing them no more because you've seen it all, you've done it all. We could tell he traded in his education. Yeah, Floyd did that. His dad was on some Joe Jackson shit. According to Floyd Sr. ain't play that shit. You know what I mean? You never beat San Andreas? Wow. I did. A few times. On San Andreas, bro, the hardest mission was when those fucking remote control airplanes was dropping bombs on them satellite towers and you had to shoot them out the sky before they dropped bombs. Bro, I failed that shit so many times, bro. Every other mission I got done. But they kept dropping bombs on the satellite towers, bro. You shooting. And, bro, it's like, if your accuracy not on the beam, they done dropped like 3 bombs on them satellite towers. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Trick said, did you watch the sit down with Xander and Boots? Yeah, but I didn't really feel the need to really speak on it too much because let's keep it real. Neither one of them really said anything that was new. You know what I mean? It just sounded like a repetition of the press conference. That's what it sounded like to me. Boots, you know, he could be repetitive at times when he speaks, so he may say the same things over and over again. And Xander, he's not the best trash talker, and you know what I mean. He was most of the time he was attempting to talk from a logical aspect. So, it wasn't really no disrespect, no shade. It's not no real beef between them. It's just competition from what I've noticed. You know what I'm saying? Xander feels like Boots has, when he said that all Boots has ever been. What was that shit that he said? He said that Boots has never been uncomfortable, but then he says that, basically that when his corner isn't gassing him up, he isn't comfortable. So it's I don't know. Xander's a bit, contradictory in a few of his statements. I mean, it just wasn't like the best face off for me, so I didn't really feel the need to speak on it. But this press conference with Shaq and Ford, oh yeah, it's on. This lit is popping. Boots and Xander are about to be like 4 weeks away. You know what I mean? So we got ourselves a good little lineup coming up, man. Good little lineup coming up. I cannot wait. You know what, bro? Actually, Boots is a pretty good trash talker. He just doesn't, bro. Because trust me, I've heard this nigga talk shit. He can talk shit. He just has a suppressed version of it when he's in front of cameras. I'm trying to tell you, I heard him talk crazy. Boots talk crazy. He actually a bit witty with a lot of the shit he say. He ain't no dummy. But when he gets in front of them cameras, he is very reserved. He said Boots never had a tough fight, but why everyone says he struggled with Karen. Yeah, that was another thing. I peeped that shit too. I'm glad you noticed that, Justin. Yeah, Xander was like, oh, Boots never been in a tough fight. He's always been bigger than guys, and when he hits them, they go out. But then you was like, oh yeah, I see, I was studying some tape and I seen a lot of flaws. I seen a lot of mistakes. I watched this fight, I watched that fight, and it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Xander be on some other shit. You know what I mean? But we got some good shit going on, y'all. I can't wait. I can't wait for Shockey and Ford to rumble. That's gonna be a great time. You already know. I'm gonna be dolo in the crib. You know what I mean? My son, he gonna be away for the weekend. You know what I mean? For those of y'all who have, purchased gifts on my son's, Amazon list, I appreciate that very much, man. The support doesn't go unnoticed. Shout out to everybody that bought the children's book as well. Called that's how you know I'm tired. I forgot my fucking book name. Micah Finds His Words. You know what I mean? That's available on Amazon right now if you would like to buy a children's book. I mean, if your son has a speech delay or whatever the case is, shout out to all the active fathers out there. Go copy you a copy of it too. You know what I'm saying? One of the best children's books out here. Bivol, Azim, and Serrano on Saturday as well. Yeah, it's a lot of good fights, man. I'm looking forward to Bivol too, man. I want to see how Bivol look. Hopefully Bivol shitty sharp. Hopefully he get Michael Eifert up out of there. So or at least he could get some rounds in just to shake the rust off. He ain't fight since the biggest win of his career against Artur Beterbiev, a little bit ago. So I want to see Bivol. I'll take that back. I actually want to see Bivol get some rounds in. If you could stop the nigga late, even better. You know what I mean? I want to see Bivol get like a good 9-10 rounds in. Because if he looking shitty sharp, then we need to line up that Benavidez fight ASAP, man. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people criticizing Benavidez. Oh man, he always calling people out, but he he doesn't fight. Man, shut the fuck up. He just beat the unified champion at cruiserweight, you fucking goof. And before that, he beat David Morrell, who y'all claim he was ducking, and he fought whoever was available to him. So shout out to Benavidez, man. Dual said Bivol's fight style is so clean and he's very consistent with his performances. Prior to the Canelo Alvarez fight, he had some inconsistent performances, to be honest, but he's been on a roll since then, man. Even in that fight that he supposedly lost with Artur Beterbiev, I thought he won. He still fought his ass off. I mean, he avenged that loss in the rematch, and unfortunately, he had to get a back surgery and stuff like that, so he's been a little inactive. But hopefully, he comes back shitty sharp. Looks good. Styles on Eford, gets a stoppage, gets a few rounds in the process. So we can go ahead and start build as media, as YouTubers, so we can start building up this Bivol and Benavidez fight, bro. That's the shit that the boxing fans need to see. That's what the world needs, to be honest with you. That's a top level fight. And plus, you got the young, hungry lion of David Benavidez, who's looking to capture every title at light heavyweight. You got Bivol, the established dog, who coming off of the biggest win of his career. It's a great fight, bro. You got that fluid in and out. A good combination puncher. And Dimitri Bivol also has good counter punching ability, a good jab. Got him up against David Benavidez, who has fast hands, great conditioning, good combination punching, and very good jab as well. That's a match made in heaven, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You said Callum Smith fight after. Is it Callum Smith? I don't know. I thought Callum Smith was out with an injury or some shit. Or am I talking about somebody else? I don't even know, man. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, though. We don't need that trilogy. Yeah, Paul, I agree with you. We definitely don't need that trilogy. I thought he won the first two. And we tried to tell Turkey that we ain't want the trilogy, but he was like, oh, we're going to do the trilogy. The whole time, them niggas was gonna go do it in Russia without your stupid ass. You got Ford Stop and Shock. You see something? Okay. That's a bold ass prediction. I'll tell you what. If Ford Stop Shock, Ford a bad motherfucker, boy. I don't see that happening, but man, that don't mean it won't happen. So we'll see, man. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that gets that's supporting the channel, hitting the like, hitting the subscribe button, sharing the video. As always, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the way out. It's very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,500 mark. We're gonna crack that 3,600 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation of the mob for making this possible. I'll be back at y'all with another live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.